Every winter, people fall into the same routine. They crank up the heat, cross their fingers, and hope for the best until the bill shows up and hits harder than the weather outside. But staying warm does not have to feel like fighting nature or draining your wallet. Winter has rules, and once you understand how it actually works, everything gets easier, cheaper, and a whole lot more comfortable. The truth is, winter feels expensive because most of us approach it like rookies. We turn up the thermostat, hope it magically helps, and then wonder why our home still feels cold. But the real issue is not how much heat you make, it is how fast that heat escapes. Warmth behaves like a guest who never stays where you put it, and if you do not understand how it moves, you end up paying more while feeling less comfortable. So in this video, we are keeping things simple, practical, and genuinely useful. You will see exactly where homes lose heat, how to feel warmer without touching the thermostat, how to boost comfort and safety at the same time, and how to spend less by using heat smarter, not harder. No complicated jargon, no boring lectures, just ideas that work in real life. If you want results instead of recycled advice, stay with Safety Zone. Let's start with something simple that almost nobody pays attention to. Most of the heat you're paying for never actually warms you. It slips away, quietly, constantly, and almost always through the same 3 weak spots in every home: doors, windows, and floors. Think of your house like a container. If there are even tiny openings, warm air treats them like a glowing exit sign. Heat always moves toward cold, and it will take the fastest path out if you give it the chance. That is why your heater can sound like it is working overtime, even when the thermostat insists everything should be fine. Doors are often the biggest culprits. If you have ever felt a cold draft at the bottom of your front door, that is not just winter. That is your warmth running straight out of the building. A simple weather strip fixes most of that, and it costs less than a takeout meal. Then come the windows. Even good ones lose heat through the glass, and older frames can leak around the edges. You do not need expensive upgrades. Thick curtains trap warmth. Those clear plastic window film kits add a surprisingly effective insulating layer. And yes, even rolling a towel along the base can block a shocking amount of cold air from sneaking in. It might look humble, but it works instantly. And then there are the floors, the silent heat thieves. If you live above a basement, a garage, or a crawl space, the floor can act like a giant cold plate. You feel it without noticing it. Cold feet, chilly ankles, a room that somehow feels colder than the thermostat says. A single dense rug can bump up the perceived warmth of a room by several degrees because it stops the cold from radiating upward. These fixes are small, but winter is a game of small wins. One sealed door, one smarter window, one warmer floor, and suddenly you are not paying for heat that disappears the moment it is created. Principle 1. The best savings do not come from producing more warmth, but from keeping the warmth you already paid for. Now let's talk about the thermostat, because that is where most winter mistakes quietly begin. A lot of people treat it like a volume knob. They get cold, crank it up to the max, and wait for magic to happen. But heaters do not work like microwaves, and turning the temperature higher does not warm your home faster. It only forces the system to run longer, which is exactly what makes the bill jump. The next common mistake is the constant up and down, changing the setting every time the air feels a little off. Each adjustment makes your system burn extra energy just to stabilize again. And then there is the silent budget killer. Heating rooms you barely use, like a guest room, a storage corner, or an office you step into twice a week. All that warmth goes into empty space. The real key is understanding perceived temperature, which simply means your body feels warmer or colder depending on things like humidity, airflow, clothing, and how heat circulates around you. You can make a room feel much warmer without touching the thermostat by blocking drafts, using heavier curtains, or putting down a dense rug. Even gently recirculating warm air helps, A ceiling fan set to low and spinning upward pushes the trapped heat near the ceiling back down where you can actually feel it. What truly saves money is rhythm, not power. Set a comfortable baseline temperature and keep it steady, lower it slightly at night or when you leave, but avoid big swings. And close the doors of unused rooms so your heating system focuses on the places you actually live in. These small shifts give you more comfort for less money. Principle 2, managing heat beats blasting heat every time. Before you try to heat your whole home, remember this. Your body is its own heating system, and most people never use it properly. We spend winter chasing thermostat numbers when what we actually want is comfort, and those two things are not always the same. Perceived temperature, which is just how warm your body feels, can shift dramatically without touching the thermostat at all. If your feet are cold, your whole body feels colder. If your neck is warm, suddenly your entire upper body relaxes. That is why a room at 68 degrees can feel freezing one day and completely fine the next. The fabrics you wear matter more than people think. Cotton holds moisture and slowly cools you down, while wool, fleece, and synthetic layers trap warm air right where you need it. And layering is not a winter cliche. It is simple physics. A base layer keeps heat close, a middle layer adds insulation, and an outer layer blocks drafts. 3 light layers often beat one heavy one because they trap more pockets of warm air. The goal is not to dress like you are camping indoors, but to let your body hold enough warmth so you do not have to heat the entire house just to feel comfortable. Small habits go a long way. Warm socks before bed, a hot drink in your hands, moving for 2 minutes every hour to restart circulation, or even sitting near an interior wall instead of an exterior one because exterior walls radiate cold. And here is the simple truth. When you warm your body first, your home does not have to work nearly as hard. You feel better, you spend less, and you stop overheating rooms you barely use. Principle 3. Warming yourself often costs far less than warming the whole house, and it usually works better too. Staying warm is great, but staying warm safely is even better because winter brings a whole set of risks that most people never think about until they show up uninvited. One of the sneakiest is moisture. When warm indoor air touches a cold surface, it turns into condensation, and if that moisture hangs around long enough, it becomes mold. Mold loves winter because windows stay shut and air barely moves, so a little daily ventilation goes a long way, whether it is cracking a window for a few minutes or running the bathroom fan to keep humidity under control. Then there are the overloaded outlets, a winter classic. Heaters, electric blankets, and holiday lights all pull power at the same time, and it is easy to plug too many things into one spot without noticing. Space heaters especially should always have their own dedicated outlet with nothing else attached. Improvised heat sources are another problem that comes back every year. People turn on ovens to warm the kitchen or rely on candles to heat a room. But ovens can release carbon monoxide and candles can turn one small draft into a fire. Stick to devices meant for heating and keep anything flammable a safe distance away. Even simple habits matter, like checking cords for wear or keeping heaters at least 3 feet from furniture. And do not forget the air you breathe. If you seal your home too tightly, you trap stale air and reduce ventilation, which makes carbon monoxide a real risk. But a cheap detector fixes that instantly. Winter safety is not about fear, it is about small choices that prevent big, expensive problems. Principle 4. Heat only helps if it is safe. And safe heat saves comfort, money, and peace of mind. Saving money in winter is not about freezing in your own house, it is about cutting the waste you do not even see happening. Most homes bleed money through tiny efficiency leaks, small habits that look harmless but quietly push your bill higher. One of the biggest drains is heating empty space. Many people warm rooms they barely use or leave doors open, so heat drifts into areas where it does nothing. Simply closing the doors you do not need and focusing warmth where you actually live can make your home feel noticeably cozier without touching the thermostat. Another invisible cost is standby power. TVs, chargers, and game consoles keep drawing electricity even when the screen is dark. And in winter, every wasted watt hits harder. Unplug what you are not using or plug everything into a single power strip you can turn off with one switch. Airflow is another easy win. Since heat rises, forgetting your ceiling fan's winter mode means losing free comfort. Running the fan on a low upward setting pushes warm air back down and can make a room feel 2 or 3 degrees warmer. Even kitchen habits matter. Using lids traps heat. Boiling water with an electric kettle uses less energy than the stove, and skipping long oven preheats saves more power than most people think over an entire season. The best savings come from routines. Lower the thermostat slightly at night, close heavy curtains at sunset to seal in warmth, and open them in the morning so the sun can help for free. None of this feels extreme, and none of it makes winter less comfortable. Principle 5. The cheapest energy is the energy you never waste, and tiny smart choices pile up long before your bill does. At the end of the day, staying warm, safe, and spending less all come down to one simple idea. Winter is not an enemy, it is a system you can learn to manage. The people who get through the season comfortably are not the ones blasting the heat all day. They are the ones who understand how warmth moves through a home, how tiny habits add up, and how small adjustments make a big difference over time. When you stop fighting winter and start working with it, everything gets easier. You save money without feeling restricted, you stay warm without burning extra energy, and you keep your home safer without turning your life upside down. And the best part is that none of this requires fancy gear or complicated setups, just a little awareness and consistency. So here is a question for the comments, and be honest because your answer might help someone else this year. What is one small winter habit you know you should fix but never actually have? Subscribe to Safety Zone. Here we do not talk about the cold, we talk about how to control it.